love that message, Christina. Let there be love. I must say, I love her new look. She looks happy. She looks healthier than she's looked in a very, very long time, and in such a perfect place in her life to be releasing the 7th studio album. So I think it's definitely going to be a great song for this summer. But someone who is great any time of the year is Brad Ball, and this morning we're cooking with you. How are you, Brad?
Absolutely, very well, thank you, very well.
It's
always good to be here.
It's always good to have you here. Now,
you.
I'm not going to lie. Whenever I told people what we're making today, yesterday, when I was telling them, they'd be like, what is rhubarb?
What is rhubarb?
It's something that we don't necessarily have a lot of the time.
We don't have a lot of the time, and as a chef, it's one of those ingredients that I really like to use, but it's not always available. But this time of year, we've got some fantastic rhubarb available.
Fantastic.
And essentially, in sort of in slightly warmer climates, the season is a little bit longer, but I just don't think there's a massive demand for it. So we want to kind of like sort of make it less intimidating, I suppose. It's very simple to prepare.
I like that. Simple to prepare and less intimidating. That's our theme for the morning.
I think that's our theme in general. That's what we want to try and achieve.
I like that. Sure. You can stay, Brad. So we're making a rhubarb compote
today. A rhubarb compote, yeah. So it's just very, very simple. Rhubarb is extremely tart, so you can't really eat it raw. It's very stringy and astringent as well. So you want to sort of always cook it down, and you definitely want to add sugar to it.
Okay.
So all we're doing for our compote, very, very simply, is chopping our rhubarb. We're going to add a little bit of beetroot. If you do the rhubarb just by itself, it comes out sort of like a really sort of muddy colour, so it's not particularly attractive. So I'm just adding some beetroot, some boiling apple juice, and we let that go for about sort of a minute or so.
That's what's smelling so nice. We've got some apple juice in our pot. We've just put some beetroot in here. Yeah,
and you can see immediately it releases that colour. So once we've used the beetroot for its colour, and we won't really get any of the flavour from the beetroot because of the tartness and the flavour of the rhubarb. So we're just going to use that really for the colour. And when we're done, we're going to remove those slices of beetroot from the compote.
Wonderful.
Right, and then immediately, and we go with 6 cups. So it seems like quite a lot, but in fact, it's not a huge amount. Interesting fact about rhubarb: the leaves are actually poisonous.
Oh, thank you for telling me.
They contain a toxin called oxalic acid, and so it's basically a corrosive, but you pretty much need to eat like 4 or 5 kilograms of the leaves for it to be sort of lethal. But and I don't think anyone's going to make their way through 4 or 5 kilograms of very tart.
Thankfully.
So it looks like there's sort of quite too little liquid in there, but let it cook down, the rhubarb will break down, and then we can simply just add more liquid if we need to. Then we go with a 1/4 cup of honey. That's our sweetness.
Yummy.
And rhubarb sort of generally, from plant to plant will be a little bit different, in its tartness. So again, at the end, just check that it is.
Rhubarb is generally underused, I would say. Or is it mostly in restaurants that you would find it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's not something that I see at many dinner parties.
No, because I think guys intimidated it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so once we've got that cooked down, let that go for about 10 or 15 minutes. Once it's cooked down, you're going to land up with a beautiful compote like this.
Look at that.
That's it, and absolutely. I mean, you can serve it warm or cold. You can serve it through yogurt. You can serve it with desserts.
Nice.
It's got sort of it's got a lot of uses.
Fantastic. We are changing the way we think about rhubarb and using it a lot more in our recipes this morning. When we come back, we're making a rhubarb custard.
Rhubarb custard tart. So rhubarb and custard, it's a match made in heaven.
Well, there you have it. Brad said it's a match made in heaven. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this.
By supporting the Flower Valley Conservation Trust, that's where we found goodness. Pick and Pay, always there for you.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso here on SABC3. I'm with Chef Brad Ball in the kitchen this morning as we make a delicious recipe with rhubarb. Now, before this, we made a delicious compote. We're about to make a rhubarb custard tart. I can't wait. It sounds delicious.
Fantastic. You've got the sweetness from the custard, and you've got the vanilla in there, and then you've got this beautiful tartness from the rhubarb.
Gorgeous.
And the tart shells just add a lovely little crust and a good texture.
Nice.
Right, so custard. We call this creme pat or creme patissier in the restaurant. But essentially it's just a simple custard. What we've got some milk on the boil. As soon as it comes up to the boil, we're going to add our vanilla just to infuse that, and then we're going to remove it so it doesn't reduce any, because we want the milk and the custard to sort of stay at the same measurement we started with. Right, and then we're just going to add some corn flour to this bowl. Some caster sugar, sorry. A little bit of corn flour. This is what's going to help thicken up the custard. But very important is that we need to cook the corn flour out, the corn starch. Otherwise, you get that starchy texture which you don't want. Huh?
I get that all the time.
And it's not essential that you whisk this to what we call ribbon stage, where you get it sort of, it's very thick and white, and as you pull in the whisk through it, it becomes sort of ribbon-like.
Yeah.
We just want to sort of kind of break down the sugar a little bit.
All right.
So once we've got this whisked in and the sugar broken down a touch, we're just going to simply add our milk and our vanilla. To this just a little bit at a time. You can start whisking in if you'd like. And we just add this quite slowly. Because
we don't want to get scrambled eggs, do we?
No, of course not. No. Exactly. You've done this a few times then.
I've learned, yes. Sometimes the hard way.
There we go. So we just want to temper this egg mixture. Okay. And then we can simply add that egg mixture straight back to the pan. We're going to cook that out for about 5 or 6 minutes until it sort of coats the back of a spoon. Cool, thank you.
Fantastic.
I'm going to add this back into here and then just reduce the temperature and on a very low sort of simmer, just go for about 5 or 6 minutes until it coats the back of the spoon. It smells good as well. Right, for the tart shell is very, very simple sort of short crust pastry. It's butter, it's flour, and simply just a little bit of water and egg yolks, and that's it. So you just want to keep an eye on this. You want to make sure that it doesn't burn, absolutely. And then the easiest way is just to, once it's done, just to get it into a piping bag and
that's going to thicken as it goes.
That's going to thicken, absolutely. Okay. And you want to let it cool down for about 20 or 30 minutes once we've taken it off the heat, and it will thicken up and you'll have a beautiful, beautiful custard like this.
Yummy.
Right, so again, rhubarb loves orange, so we've just got some orange. We're going to zest these little tarts afterwards with some orange.
Okay, fantastic.
While we're sort of testing this recipe, we thought I love cheat sort of methods.
Me too.
Easier, you're either on the weekend or something, you want something quick. So we went out and we bought a tub of pick and pay custard.
Okay.
And we got it on the heat and we warmed it up and we simply add 2 tablespoons of corn flour to it, remove it off the heat, and it was pretty much done within about 5 minutes. So instead of going the whole process of that there is a simpler cheat method. And I think I always quite like it to have in your repertoire if that's what you're going to do.
Brad's got to give us some of these cheat codes. Well, if you would like to know how we made this rhubarb custard tart, all you have to do is SMS the word tart to 33728. You could be making this as well. It's very, very easy. Tarts to 33728. We'll send you your Pick and Pay shopping list and the link to the recipe, and you could be making this yourself. So good.
Okay.
Well, should we take one last look at how we made this before we put it all together?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Take a look at this.
Boil apple juice, then add beetroot and simmer for 2 minutes. Add rhubarb and honey and simmer for another 8 minutes. Remove beetroot, taste for sweetness, then cool. Boiled milk and vanilla. Whisk yolks, sugar and corn flour, then add milk. Return to the pot and stir until thickened, then simmer for 2 minutes. Pipe custard into tart shells, top with compote, then finish with orange zest.
There we go. We're about to do the last final touches on our little tarts right now. Look at that, gorgeous. The custard is going into our crust, our shells over there.
Yep.
And then the compote that we made before the time is going to go on the top, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So you just want to get the balance here right. You don't want to have too much compote compared to the custard. Otherwise, your balance isn't fantastic.
Oh, this looks
there
so
we go.
Good. Beautiful.
Like I said, rhubarb loves orange, so we're simply just going to get a little bit of a zest of rhubarb over the top.
It's a great marriage.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's like this, it's the bacon and egg, and it's the basil and tomato, that whole sort of story.
Well, you put the finishing touches on. If you would like this recipe one more time, the keyword is tarts. SMS that to 33728. We'll send you your Pick and Pay shopping list and the link to the recipe, and you could be making this very delicious rhubarb tart yourself. It's so easy, and it's good to know that anyone can do it, even me.
That's it, even you. So hopefully we've taken some of the difficulty or the things that the guys don't understand about beetroot, and we've made it easier for everybody to understand.
Brad,
that's it.
so
Absolute
much.
pleasure.
It looks fantastic. Man. Well done once again. You always just change the way I see food every single time you're here.
Well, I think that's the point. Is to try and make it accessible and a little bit easier for everybody to understand.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Ilana, I'm sure you agree with Brad. Like, this looks absolutely amazing, right?
We found goodness in goed gedacht olive oil and all the good they do for the community. Pick and Pay, always there for you.